Orange County Registered Digital.
Hello and welcome to the OCVarsity Hoops Show. I'm your host, Jonathan Khamis, and I'm being joined by Steve Fryer, and the playoffs are finally here. This is our playoff preview spectacular, and we're starting off with a brand new division, the CIF Open Division, Steve. And there was some thought, hey, how many teams are going to go into this division? Maybe 12, but it's actually 16, and only one Orange County team made it in, and that's Mater Dei.
Yeah, not to be surprised by that at all, Jonathan. You know, Mater Dei #1 in the nation in some polls, #1 in state.
And by the way, this is the best of the best division. This is what this is all about.
The best of the best, sir.
Yes,
it is. And so it looks pretty good. Mater Dei opens with Cantwell Sacred Heart. Mater Dei, the top seeded team in this division. Cantwell Sacred Heart, like a lot of teams in this division, have been in the state top 20 at one time or another. It's like all 16 teams, you know, are somewhere in the top 20 or have been at one point or another. A couple interesting things about this division, Jonathan, is that it's like a tournament, like a December tournament. There's a consolation bracket. You lose in the first round, you can go to the consolation bracket. All first round winners go to the state regionals. The tournament for state, they start with the Southern California Regional, so all the first round winners go, and the consolation champion goes too, and then there's some room for some at-large teams. So some teams that lost the second round or something like that might go to the state tournament as well. So it's a wild division, and they do have some great teams in this thing.
A lot of games to cover there, Steve. One of the teams that didn't make it into the Open Division, they were kind of borderline, was El Toro. And the Chargers are in Division I-A. This division is absolutely loaded. The Chargers, heartbreaking last year. They were in the championship game and lost it in the closing minutes there, Steve. How do you like the Chargers' chances in Division I-A?
Well, I think they look really good. One thing that sort of helped them was the creation of the Open Division, pulled the top-ranked team in the division, JW North Riverside, into the Open Division. A lot of people thought El Toro might go into the Open Division too. I'm kind of glad they didn't because, you know, as good as they are 24-2 coming into the playoffs, you know, it's kind of like just a community team. A bunch of local guys have been playing NJV ball together since they were 8 years old. So it's not one of these sort of basketball factory sort of schools, and there's a lot of private schools also in that Open Division. Last year, like you said, Jonathan, they got to the finals, lost to St. Monica. I think this might be their year. I think they got a shot.
All right, and we actually caught up with the Chargers earlier on, and here's what they had to say.
I actually like the fact that we get a week to prepare. We get a time to have some of our JV guys come up and practice with us, get some other guys healthy. That's always a bonus for us. And just the excitement that the school starts to get into being in the CIF playoffs. I think that's it's good for our fans and good for the community.
Hopefully it should be a pretty good crowd. We have a pretty good Charger Freak show that comes out for our game, so hopefully they'll come out for CIF.
Our first round opponent is Chaparral. They play like really scrappy and just like really hard, kind of like a Capital Valley type of thing. And like the field in 1A, every team's actually competitive. Like we have film in every team. I kind of watch all of them, and like every team plays really hard, so it's not like a cakewalk.
It would have been fun to be in the Open Division, but at the same time, it's good to be where we are.
All right, thanks to the Chargers, and credit El Toro, Steve. When we were there, we talked to them about, hey, you guys didn't make it in the Open Division. How do you feel about that? And a little bit disappointed because they kind of wanted to see how they would how they would fare against some of these top schools. So I like the attitude they have there, and they're ready for the playoffs. And actually, Coach Dixon told me to wish you a happy 75th birthday.
Thanks a lot. That's my IQ, not my age.
Yeah, there you go. Other divisions to talk about, Steve. Well, specifically, let's stay on to 1A. There's a lot of other county teams in there. Who else do we see as having a chance to go all the way, and other teams that have some juicy first-round matchups?
You know, there doesn't seem to be any team that is going to go really deep. Maybe Villa Park, because they got a matchup, not nightmare for everybody, in 6'10", Lamont Tyler. Wow, you know, having 20-something points a game. You know, one of the leading rebounders in the county. Luke Selway, all-county first-team player last year, turned an ankle, hasn't played of late. They're hoping they can get him back. He's a pretty crucial guy to what they do. They have a really good first-round match with Godinez. Godinez got a great young player, Brandon Smith. A lot of people don't know him. He's an under-the-radar guy, pretty spectacular player. Catella's in this Division II. They just beat Savannah, first Savannah league loss in 27 games. So, so Catella's kind of a fun team to watch too. But I like El Toro in that group. Looking outside in other divisions, in 2 single-A, Sonora. Mike Murphy's coached that team. This is his 27th year. Never been #1 seeded. They're #1 seeded in the 2 single-A division. Never won a CIF title during his tenure. They look really good. And then moving up to 2 AA, top seeded Canyon, and then second seeded Foothill. If they make it all the way through, it's an all-Century League final, Canyon versus Foothill. That would be fun to see.
Yeah, that would be absolutely, there would just be a blast because the Century League has probably been the toughest league in all the county this year, and it produced the most exciting matchups.
Yeah.
All right, our thanks to Steve Fryer. That's the playoff preview spectacular, but we'll be back next week to gauge the rest of the rounds in the playoffs. I'm Jonathan Khamis, and check out OCVarsity.com where we've got you covered.
Orange County Register. We are here in the service of Orange County.